passing shots.
Deal.
Laser. Number 5, Guardians, White Sox. So Luis Angel Acuna is trying to score, but Petey Halpin, how about that throw? Perfect product placement. That throw reached almost 98 miles an hour on the way to home. The Guardians, though, would lose 6-5.
At number 4, more from the Men's College World Series between Oklahoma and UNC. Camden Johnson. He's the one there.
Woo-hoo.
That got to him so quickly, you almost don't see the beginning of the play.
Yeah, that video didn't do it justice.
Beat the runner at first as well. You out, and Oklahoma won 13-2.
They're the champs. Number 3, Rangers and the Marlins. Javier Sanoja. How about that spinny scoop at third? And you still got to make the throw. You know he's a former Gold Glover, right? If you didn't know it, now you see why.
Now you see why.
Marlins lose 4-3.
Red Sox and Rockies at number 2, Cedar Rafaela. He's the one sprinting in right there. Got it. Just before that hit the ground. And then I like how he aggressively threw it down. Just added effect.
All right, number 1, more tennis from Mallorca. Corentin Moutet taking on Abdullah Shelby.
Gonna swear.
And Moutet. I mean, if he did drop an F-bomb, it would be in a positive delivery. Like,
I think the last 6 were as well.
Yeah, totally did it. Yeah. He lost the straight sets. No.
Sports Center's Top 10 is brought to you by Farmers Insurance. Get a quote at farmers.com.
The closest thing to fresh air in this office is your boss's screensaver. But what if he just booked that lake house? Go on, it's easy. Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
Introducing Gatorade Lower Sugar. No artificial colors, no artificial flavors, no artificial sweeteners, and 75% less sugar. Gatorade Lower Sugar. Hydrates better than water.
His phone is addicted to him.
I don't always drink beer, but when I do, I prefer Dos Equis. Stay thirsty, my friends.
Put a lime on your to-do list. Corona. La Playa awaits.
Pipi lasagna! Radmila Mikusa! Hello!
Oh. Get same-day Wi-Fi delivery from Xfinity. Now that's instant online magic. Plus, lock in your internet price for 5 years. Xfinity, imagine that. And see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Rated PG.
Arthritis causes pain in your joints. Unlike pills, Voltaren gel is applied to the site of pain, penetrating deep through the skin to the joint, reducing intense pain caused by inflammation so you can move more freely. Voltaren, clinically proven long-lasting arthritis pain relief.
What if more water just happened? With Circle, more happens. Grab 1 bottle and get up to 6 drinks throughout your day. Circle, just more water.
When your team's goal is to make something lasting, 4imprint delivers the gear that helps your brand grow and brings teams together. Quality products, on-time delivery, and a team dedicated to getting it right. Visit 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
Things at work don't always work. But with Easy Cater, the food always does. Big room booked again? Easy Cater always has options. Learn more at easycater.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Centre Court.
Quiet, please. Wimbledon begins June 29th on ESPN, Disney Plus, and the ESPN app.
Men, listen up. Stop spending $15, $20 or more per pill for Viagra and Cialis.
Call now, and for less than $2 per pill, get the same results. The time has never been better to put an end to your bedroom troubles. For just $99, we'll send you 50 blue or yellow pills of your choice. Enough to get you back to your best when it matters most. Say goodbye to expensive prescriptions like Viagra and Cialis. Stop the embarrassing visits with your doctor. Our representatives are standing by. Call the number on your screen now, have your credit card ready, and we'll discreetly send your package right to your doorstep. Ordering is fast and easy. Don't wait. Get your 50 blue or yellow pills now for less than $2 per pill. And the deals don't stop there. Order today, and we'll throw in 10 extra pills for free. That's 60 blue or yellow pills for the cost of 50. Our best deal ever. Call now.
Giannis won.
Yeah, he did.
He's going to Miami.
I love Milwaukee.
We start this Briscoe and Eves edition of SportsCenter with breaking news from the NBA. Giannis Antetokounmpo is headed to South Beach. Social media went into a frenzy when this news hit your phone, everyone's Google. It's been a long time coming, but he's headed to South Beach in Briscoe. This is a huge blockbuster of a trade.
Absolutely it is. I mean, we've been waiting for this news to break, and it is now actually happening. It is Giannis and Bobby Portis to the Heat, and in exchange, the Bucks are bringing in an absolute haul.
Welcome to the show. We are on Sports and Light here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. Life can be hard unless you're Pat Riley, so Progressive makes bundling your home and auto easy. Hope that helps. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Yes, you heard it right there. Giannis has finally been traded along with his longtime teammate Bobby Portis to the Miami Heat for Tyler Hero, Kalel Ware, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Kasparas Yachakonis, 3 first-round picks, 1 pick swap, a second-round pick, and the deal will be completed officially on July 6th. Good morning, Michelle Smallman. Good morning, Chris Canty. I am Evan Cohen. Giannis is a member of the Heat.
Congratulations. But you need a few more members of the Heat before we can start having a conversation about them being a serious threat in the Eastern Conference. So I hate to rain on your parade for landing the big fish that was out there this summer in terms of NBA movement, but color me unimpressed with the rest of the Heat roster now that they've completely gutted themselves in order to make this move.
Yeah, first and foremost, congratulations, Evan. Congratulations to the Miami Heat. Congratulations to Pat Riley. He wanted to go out there and land the white whale, and he got him. However, this really all started with Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks, this saga, because he wanted to win another championship, and it wasn't happening in Milwaukee. Giannis said, winning a championship comes first. I don't want to be 20 years on the same team, and I don't win another championship. So while he goes to a championship organization in the Miami Heat, I don't know how built they are to win a championship now. So this is a very interesting move. But, Evan, congratulations. You haven't had a star like this in Miami for quite some time.
Thank you. And let me just say this. I was wrong. Dead wrong. I was wrong. I did not think that Giannis was going to end up in Miami. Every bit of intel that I had was leading me towards him not joining the team that I root for. And it was not that I doubted Pat Riley ever in my life. It's that I had information that would lead me otherwise. And the moment that Jaylen Brown was offered, I thought, well, the Heat have no shot. But guess what? Heat culture's back. It may have been in hibernation. It was never, ever dead. It is back. Because if anyone knows how to build around a mega star, it is Pat Riley. He did it with our guy Alonzo Mourning and Tim Hardaway. They didn't win a championship, but they were very good. He certainly did it around Shaquille O'Neal, who, of course, was traded to the Miami Heat, won a championship. LeBron, technically traded to the Miami Heat, won a championship. And then you had Jimmy Butler, traded to the Miami Heat, went to the finals twice. The through line to so much of this, of course, was Dwayne Wade. He is the franchise more than anyone else, along with Udonis Haslem. But Pat Riley did it again. And you can doubt them all you want. I'm fine with that. There is literally no example of Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra with him as a head coach getting this thing wrong. There's no amount they could have given up that would have been too much. They got Giannis, and he's going to go to the finals at some point during his Heat tenure. That is a guarantee.
Ooh.
Ooh, that is big talk.
A guarantee.
Well, I'm glad that you threw in the caveat there at some point in his tenure.
Yes.
We know that's not going to be 26, 27.
Correct.
We know that. When you look at the roster, they're going to be really good defensively. I don't know who the hell is going to score the basketball, especially when it comes to perimeter shooting, because they don't have any of that. Right now, they only have one player penciled in as a starter that has shot over 40% from three last year, and that's Andrew Wiggins. And he's not a volume three-point shooter. So shooting from the perimeter is going to be a problem for the Miami Heat. They desperately need to re-sign Norm Powell. We'll see where that ends up leaving them in terms of the cap and the apron and all of those things. But the Miami Heat don't have a ton of flexibility once they make that move. So the question then becomes, how do they fill out the rest of the roster, and what shape is it in for year one with Giannis? Because it doesn't strike me as a team that's going to be capable of ascending and competing with the top of the Eastern Conference.
Well, I'm glad you asked. So let's discuss a couple of things here. First of all, let's give the New York Knicks a ton of credit. I'm going to tell you why. They're the standard now. They're the model, which means there's going to have to be an unfair ask of two guys that you just mentioned. Andrew Wiggins, a champion and a former number one overall pick in the draft, and Norm Powell, who for the first time in his career was an all-star this year as a member of the Miami Heat. They both can be free agents. Norm Powell will be. Andrew Wiggins is a player option at about $30 million. The ask is do what the Knicks did, which is take a little bit less to be together. Right? The Knicks are the ultimate example of we just want to be together, all of us, and we want to do this thing together. They all found a home there, and I think many of these players are trying to find a home there. If you look at what their starting lineup is, Davion Mitchell, point guard, top 10 pick in the draft. Norm Powell, all-star. This is if these guys come back. Andrew Wiggins, champion, all-star, number one pick in the draft, right? Bam, obviously, all-star, lottery pick. Giannis, Hall of Famer, right? So based on that, do you want to be together? Do you want to be like Bridges and Cat and Brunson, who led the way, obviously, with taking a little bit less? That's the model now. The team that I root for that just got Giannis is not the model anymore. What they're trying to do is catch up to the model, which is the Knicks. Are some of these guys now going to take advantage of joining Giannis and Bam, which means I don't have to play great defense because those guys are behind me to take a little bit less? It's an unfair ask, Smalls and CC, but that is probably what's going to happen now.
Yeah, but it's a lot easier to do that when it's a proven commodity, when you're doing it with the guys that you won with at the collegiate level that are your best friends that you know that you can win with. And in the wake of the Knicks winning the championship, we praised Jalen Brunson for being so singular in the fact that he takes less. That's not typically what happens in the landscape of the NBA today. So while I understand what you're saying, in reality, I don't know how much these guys want to play together. Enough to make them take less money. And with this deal that the Heat made in order to get Giannis, you don't have a ton of assets or draft capital to really build around him in a meaningful way. So they're in a tricky spot.
Giannis going to take less money, Ev?
No.
Hold on. Giannis going to take less money?
No, I'm not asking him.
Because Jalen Brunson took $100 million less to keep everybody in the Knicks together. The best player on the team took $100 million less, a 9-figure pay cut.
Bingo.
In order to keep everybody together. Is Giannis going to do that? 8-Ball says doubtful. Giannis has never been known to leave money on the table. No. And I don't suspect going to Miami he's going to start, especially when you're in an income tax-free state. So Giannis is going to try to maximize everything he can from a financial standpoint. The question is, where does that leave the Miami Heat? How much flexibility do they have? And how compelling is it, the combination of Eric Spoelstra, Pat Riley, and Giannis, to get other players to take less in order to come ring chase down in Miami? Because remember, when the Heat have had success, they've had a star player that other guys around the league want to come run with, and it was a compelling enough combination of star player, head coach, front office to entice guys, and location, to entice guys to decide to come down to South Florida and take a little bit less. Are we going to see that with Giannis and Bam? I don't know the answer to that question, And I think that's what's going to be fascinating moving forward. And I think that's what Pat Riley, Alonzo Mourning, and the powers that be in Miami are banking on. That the duo of Bam and Giannis, Pat Riley with all of the rings that he can lay out on his desk when he's making the pitch, and then Eric Spoelstra, one of the very best coaches in the sport, that combination is going to be enough to convince key cogs to come down and play for the Miami Heat. But here's the thing, Ev, no matter how many guys are willing to do that, the reality of Miami's current situation is they can't get everything they need right now this summer. That's right. And that's why this is going to be a multi-year build toward being a title contender.
You nailed every part of it. It's the exact same thing, CC, in many ways. If you look at the first year's roster with LeBron, Wade, and Bosh, and you're like, what? That's what they rolled out there? Because they didn't have the way of going about it, right? Because if you remember, LeBron was technically a trade. They had to give up something. Same with Bosh. It was a sign of trade. They actually had to give up picks to get those guys. But then as the years went on during the 4 years, wait a minute, Ray Allen's here? Mike Miller's here, Shane Battier's here. That's where it got different. So you're right. Year one may look different than the years after, but the reality is a franchise that many people thought had no shot of getting Giannis, including me based on the information that I was getting, that had no shot of getting Giannis. Pat Riley got him, and he's going to get him hopefully for multiple years as Giannis signs the extension, and he's going to have multiple bites at the apple to surround him with the proper people. You're probably going to see names in year one that may or may not excite you, but won't excite you as much as guaranteed what you're going to see in years 2, 3, 4, hopefully with Giannis. The reality is they got him. They got him. They got their guy. Small said that's the terminology they use with the Heat. They want their whale. They got their whale. When many people thought they weren't going to be able to do it, including me, they found a way to get him. They gave up a lot, which, okay, maybe not as much as Boston was going to give up because of Jaylen Brown. They gave up most of their roster to get him. And anyone who thinks they gave up too much is utterly insane. Versus what? Living in the play-in every year? There is no giving up too much when it comes to a guy like Giannis. CC, you played in the NFL for 11 years. You understand this better than I do, or Smalls does. You get the guy and you figure out the rest later. I mean, that's the reality of this, is it not?
Yeah.
No, it is. And he's got another perennial all-star in Bam Adebayo to play alongside. And that front court duo, that 4-5 combination is going to be formidable. You throw in Andrew Wiggins playing small forward. And, Ev, I don't know how anybody is going to attack the paint when it comes to Miami. The interior of that defense is going to be really, really strong. So the question then becomes is what happens with their backcourt, what happens with perimeter players, what happens with secondary scoring and shooting, playmaking. Those are things that they're going to have to add. But there are some foundational elements to what the Miami Heat have put together now that you have this top duo with Bam and Giannis.
Woo, it's over. The saga is over, and he's a member of the Heat. Did both teams get it right? 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776 is your telephone number to join the show. Let me also, on a personal note, thank everybody at ESPN Radio and Smalls and CC and our great team at Vegas East, because I had a pre-scheduled off day today for about 3 months. And, of course, Giannis gets traded at midnight, and ESPN Radio, sorry to the audience, was kind enough to let me do the show from home today. So I do appreciate everybody.
No off days in NBA summer, Ev. You know that.
Come on, Ev. This is your Super Bowl.
My daughter's going to camp for 6 weeks. I mean, she may have already left for all I know. I don't know. But this is, oh, my God, he's on the Heat. Let's go. But is the most interesting team, as our producer Cam Pratt threw out there, is the most interesting team actually the one that didn't get Giannis? We'll get to that next. We're on Sportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance.
The NBA Draft on ESPN Radio.
We'll have a draft that's as interesting as anything that we've seen in years.
The future isn't coming. It's already here.
Dude is a generational talent.
The NBA Draft, a two-night event, tomorrow and Wednesday. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN, and on ABC.
To build it like Beckham, Behr Marquee covers in one coat so you can paint it like Paul, roll it like Rachel, and have more time to watch it like the Westleys.
Extreme weather moving into the area. Better stay inside.
Don't let what's happening outside affect how you feel inside. Pella windows are tested against extreme heat, cold, wind, and rain.
With Domino's best deal ever, you can get
any size pizza, any toppings
for only $9.99.
Say less. But wait, there's more. They added
stuffed crust.
That's the move. The best deal ever just got even better at Domino's.
Man, when did health get so ludicrous? Turns out trying it all doesn't always add up. Oh, Mark. Oh, no. Thankfully, I take one a day to make sure I'm getting key nutrients daily. One a day, the one for you.
Stop debating between razor burn and burning through another razor. Start shaving with Gillette. With 3 times more protective coatings, no refillable blade lasts longer. So even your 30th shave is still smooth and comfortable.
Every time I look around, it's in my face.
Get all ESPN networks, your favorite sports, teams, and exclusive live events on the big screen with the ESPN app. It's all of ESPN, all in one place.
This thing just got wild.
Your home for the biggest live events and the best championship moments.
Well, Scott Bedfeld, get a good look.
It's the ultimate fan experience.
Ain't nobody bigger than us, yeah, baby.
Stream now on the ESPN app.
We come together, get the fireworks started. Yeah, we the life of the party, it's true.
Different vibes, same ingredients. We all know it's not a cookout without Kraft.
With all these Hilton Honors points, I could stay for free. At the Waldorf Astoria in the Maldives. What about the Canopy in Paris?
Hilton Honors, babe. When you want points that can take you anywhere, anytime, it matters where you stay. Hilton, for the stay.
Oh, no. My ring.
You think you know someone until they make an unexpected leap. It's like finding out E-Trade is running with Morgan Stanley, so you can invest and bank under one roof.
We're all unreasonable about something. For us, it's creating an uncompromisingly delicious bourbon. Handcrafted, consciously made. Maker's Mark, perfectly unreasonable.
This is Unsportsmanlike.
At this point, if the Miami deal was going to happen, why hasn't it happened by now? Miami's wanted him back since 2020. It's been 6 years of identifying that he's the guy that fits them and they're the team that fits him. He wants to go there.
Is Giannis a diva? That's another thing you have to factor in is the personality and the demands that would come along with it if he is to be brought into your organization, especially if you give up a ton to get him.
How dare you, Michelle Smallman, ever call my guy Giannis a diva?
Your guy.
Unsportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. If you're just waking up and you're unaware of what happened, can the NBA, by the way, any big trade happen at normal hours?
No.
Luka happens at like 1 in the morning. Giannis happens at midnight. Giannis has been traded along with Bobby Portis. Which, by the way, don't sleep on that part. I'm thrilled as a Heat fan to get Bobby Portis. CC and I had him targeted for, like, every contender this offseason. If he wasn't in a Giannis deal, we had him in San Antonio. We had him in Oklahoma City.
We did.
So, like, that's a sneaky great piece to this. Tyler Hero, Kalel Ware, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Kasparas Yachakones, 3 first-round picks, 1 pick swap, 1 second-round pick, all go back to Milwaukee. I am beyond excited as a Heat fan. Bucks fans, we'll get to you in a second in terms of your reaction. But there's an argument amongst this show, Smalls and CC, that the most interesting team, believe it or not, in this entire conversation is the one that we now have to phrase that swung and missed, which would be the Boston Celtics, because Shams Charania has reported that they were in on it, and not only did he report that, he was on the 1 a.m. Eastern Sports Center and had this to say about why the Celtics didn't get the deal done.
The Celtics offered Jaylen Brown, the 2024 Finals MVP, and I'm told 2 unprotected first-round draft picks. And so the holdup in those conversations ultimately became the Bucks wanted more assets. They wanted couple young players, Hugo Gonzalez, Baylor Shireman, potentially others. They wanted more first-round picks, more swaps. But was there a middle ground to be had? But at the end of the day, my understanding is the Celtics were not willing to part with enough young players and assets to get a deal done. The offer stood as Jaylen Brown and a couple first-round picks. So now, if you're Boston, there is going to be fallout from this, some hard conversations, because for the second time in 4 years, the Celtics have offered Jaylen Brown, their co-star with Jason Tatum, in a trade. Back in 2022, the Celtics offered Jaylen Brown in a package for Kevin Durant, now for Giannis Antetokounmpo. And so the tables are a little different now because Jaylen Brown is a Finals MVP. He just came off a year where he was a MVP finalist as well. And so there are going to be some conversations now moving forward. Jaylen Brown is extension eligible in July. We'll see where things go from here.
CC, Smalls, the Celtics offered Jaylen Brown and 2 unprotected picks, and the Bucks said no to that?
Yeah, I don't understand that at all. I don't get it unless the Bucks just didn't want to go through the gymnastics of trying to offload Jaylen Brown. Now, listen, Jaylen Brown has a huge salary remaining. He's got 3 years, and I think it's like $190 million. So it's not as simple in order to be able to move him. But that's why I always thought that there would be multiple teams involved in this trade, not just the Bucks and wherever they sent Giannis, because you needed to aggregate salaries. And I just don't get why the Milwaukee Bucks decided that they didn't want to go down the road of trying to use Jaylen Brown as a part of this deal in order to rope in other teams that had more attractive assets than what the Miami Heat were bringing to the party. So it didn't make any sense to me that the Bucks didn't do the dance with Boston, but they sent Giannis to his preferred destination, and I think they went for something that was a little bit simpler, a little bit cleaner. They went for quantity over quality when it comes to this deal, and only time will tell whether it ends up being the right decision. But I will say this, when you compare it to some of the trades from yesteryear in the NBA for star players, it leaves a lot to be desired.
Quite frankly, I'm stunned. Once we found out that Jaylen Brown officially was part of the deal and hearing about the potential fractures between he and the Boston Celtics organization, thinking maybe their future was not ever in a position to be put back together, I thought that this was going to be a pretty simple thing for Milwaukee. And Cece, you said that they went quantity over quality, but they could have taken quality and turned it into quantity. Even if you bring in Jaylen Brown and you think you're going to build around him, but you're worried about his long-term future in Milwaukee, yeah, you flip him, and you know that there is a robust market out there for him. So knowing the state of affairs in Boston and the fact that the biggest piece that was offered was coming from the Celtics, I am very surprised that ultimately Milwaukee went with the offer from the Heat.
I'm shocked, honestly, as you guys know. I mean, I've been surprised throughout this entire process because I thought for sure it was not going to be Miami once you heard Jaylen Brown being involved in this. And I have to be honest, even as a Heat fan, if I were the Bucks, I would have made the Celtics deal. If I'm getting 2 firsts and I'm getting Jaylen Brown, I then have Jaylen Brown and I go one of 2 ways. Either I'm looking at it and saying, wait, can I actually be good this year? Because now, do I look at the lottery pick I have differently? I have Miles Turner, who could be a good thing for me, or could be a salary that someone else would want. Do I use future picks to pair with Jaylen Brown? That's option A. Option B is I now need to go and make some phone calls. CC and I came up with the deal yesterday of do the Matthew Stafford, Jared Goff kind of move with San Antonio and say, hey, we know you want to get off of De'Aaron Fox. We'll give you Jaylen Brown, but you're going to pay us for that. 4 first-rounders, 5 first-rounders.
And San Antonio has some attractive draft picks.
Exactly right. They hold
really attractive draft picks.
And by the way, if I do that, see, I'm about to come up with something that I think, and these are my guys that I'm very high on, Jaquez and Ware, et cetera, that they got, but I think I'm going to give you a better option that you didn't take. And this is where it's weird. It's like, I would have done the Jaylen Brown deal. Then I would have tried to send him specifically to San Antonio. Then I would have called Philadelphia and said, all right, what do you want for Embiid? What? You're going to take Embiid? Yep, we're going to take Embiid. We're going to give you Kuzma and Turner to match the numbers, and you're going to now give us at least 1 first-rounder for our troubles of taking on the worst contract in the league. And now I'm going to end up with about 6 or 7 first-rounders, De'Aaron Fox and Joel Embiid, who actually could make me good enough to not be a joke this year when I don't have my pick. So I actually get more picks than I would have gotten with Miami, and I may have a better team than I would have had with the Miami guys. I don't get the Milwaukee approach at all to not take the Boston offer. But there's another part of this. What does Boston now do with Jaylen Brown? And what does Jaylen Brown do with Boston?
Oh, he's out of there, baby. There's no way that he's going to stay in Boston. But the only question becomes is what Boston can get in return, because Boston realized that they're not good enough to compete with the Knicks. That's Brian Windhorst's words, not mine. And so if you're trying to close the gap with the reigning defending champs, you're going to have a hard time being able to do that, because any player or players that you get back in a Jaylen Brown trade now are virtually guaranteed not to be Giannis. So I don't know what's next for Boston, but I do know this. When the season tips off in October, Jaylen Brown will not be a member of the Celtics. That is a fact.
Yeah, there's no chance. I don't know what would be more stunning, the fact that Milwaukee had Jaylen Brown as part of an offer for the Celtics and turned it down, or if Jaylen Brown somehow is a member of the Celtics moving forward. Because as Shams just outlined, when he does what he's done, you are the finals MVP when you finally break through. Last year, you carry your team when Jason Tatum is out with an injury. And you come out on the Twitch live stream and you say it was your favorite season ever, and you make all these headlines, and then they don't value you in the same way that you believe you should be valued. They've offered you up twice in the past 4 years. It seems like an untenable situation.
Untenable as in, like, today?
What do you mean, that they'll move him today?
Yeah, like the draft's tonight.
The hay is out of the barn. Why not? Why is that off the board?
I'm not saying it is. I'm asking the question as to, like, untenable. He's not. So Smalls used the word untenable. CeCe said he's not going to be there when opening night runs around. The draft is literally tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, ABC, and ESPN Radio. I mean, isn't today the perfect day to do it once he knows? Like, Shams says that. There is no turning back from that. Shams is saying that because that is what is true. He was offered up with 2 first-round picks. I wonder now if we have a whole other thing to watch all day today. It's not just Giannis and the fit with the Heat and who else they get and the fallout with Milwaukee, but it's also, is Jaylen Brown going to be on another team by the end of tonight? That is going to be a fascinating thing to keep an eye on. We know the winner. Miami won here, right? Biggest losers in and around the Giannis trade? We find out with CeCe's Power Rankings, brought to us by SoFi next. We're on Sportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance.
ESPN Radio, home of the World Series.
Repeat champions, the Dodgers are World Series champs.
The NBA Finals.
The New York Knicks are the world champs.
And the College Football National Championship.
The Indiana Hoosiers are football national champions.
This is ESPN Radio.
Modelo tastes good, but that first degree in the family, Modelo. That promotion, Modelo. Or that traveled all day to surprise Abuela, Modelo. The one you earned is just better. That Modelo is the mark of a fighter.
Sorry, bud. Not while I weed. Hey! Who let the dogs out?
Spruce, a new weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees for dead weeds in just 1 day. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly.
This is quite a game. It'll be a free kick. Oh, what a goal! Unbridled joy and emotion overflows.
His phone is addicted to him.
I don't always drink beer, but when I do, I prefer Dos Equis. Stay thirsty, my friends.
To build it like Beckham, Behr Marquee covers in one coat so you can paint it like Paul, roll it like Rachel, and have more time to watch it like the Wesleys.
Now what, deputy?
Well, you're the deputy.
Hi! What the?
No way.
What just happened?
Ooh la la.
No touching. You toys are out of here.
I can't. As I responded, I have plastic fingers.
Disney and Pixar's Toy Story 5. Rated PG. Now playing only in theaters. Tickets available now.
I just spent an hour watching a tutorial on how to use this finance app. I thought it'd make it easier to track expenses and save money. Luckily, I decided to download Rocket Money instead. This app tracks all my spending. It'll even cancel subscriptions for me that I don't even want. Download it today.
We wanted a product that looked like real wood, but maybe didn't have the same wear and tear as real wood.
We put this whole decking together ourselves. It looks amazing, and now the family can enjoy it for years to come. That's one of the things that we're so excited about.
Power is not in the size, it's in the build. Tough when it counts, loud when it matters. Turtle Box Cub packs light, hits heavy.
Sweet new boots, man. Where'd you get them from?
Thanks, I got them from
GoBets.com. Why did your voice just...
Natalie, you got the tickets?
Yep, I got them from.
There's no way her voice...
Round one starts, and then you email in if you want the player, and so on and so on. So let's just take a team like Seattle. John Schneider, one of the best GMs in the league, and he's sitting there thinking like, well, maybe he's a third-round pick, but we would probably have to go in the second round just to be proactive, because even though there's a little bit of a lottery with how they weight the order of the round, they'll be at the bottom. So they may say, you know what, we'll give up a second-round pick, which presumably will be a low second-round pick in 2027. And someone like John Schneider, even though they drafted Jalen Milroe-Greene, would say like, hey, look, if he plays well in the preseason, maybe he beats out Sam Darnold, maybe we trade him. And he came from that Green Bay tree that was always proactive acquiring quarterbacks.
So, Shefty, if we're doing our best guessing, and you never guess, you just talk to everybody, do we have a sense of what range we think he might go in? Do people think someone will bid a first-round pick for Brendan Sorsby?
I think it's hard to bid a first-round pick, Greeny, for a few reasons. The draft next spring is supposedly one of the deepest drafts in years. Can you imagine if your team bids a first-round pick and then has a catastrophic season due to injuries, which could happen? There are teams at the top of the draft every year that you wouldn't expect, and all of a sudden, that team loses the ability to go draft Arch Manning or Jeremiah Smith or any of the top-rated prospects because they used their first-round draft pick in the supplemental draft for Brendan Sorsby. I think that is hard to imagine that somebody's going to use a 1. But there might be a team out there that feels like, okay, it's worth gambling a 2 or a 3. To me, the supplemental draft begins in round 2. I think starting there, he could go round 2, he could go round 3, he could go round 4. I think teams are going to dig into his background, and they're going to find out that the NCAA determined that there were no integrity of the game violations. He never bet on his own team while he was playing for them in a certain game. He was back in a dorm room. So when he was younger, we'll see what the league decides. It's up to each team to decide. But again, I don't see any team using a 1 on him.
From number 5 to number 1.
Best of the best of the best, sir.
These are the Chris Canty Power Rankings.
All right, it is 6:30 on Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU. And you know, this time of the week, we like to rank stuff. So these are the Canty Power Rankings, and they are brought to you by SoFi. Get your money right. And today's Power Rankings is inspired by the Giannis trade. We know that the Miami Heat are the big winners in this. We know that Giannis is a big winner, getting his preferred destination. But that means that there are a lot of losers out there in the NBA landscape. And I felt like it was important for us to rank the biggest losers when it comes to the Giannis trade. And so these are the Canty Power Rankings. Top 5 losers in the Giannis Antetokounmpo to the Miami Heat trade. Pat Costello, before we get to it, I have to introduce Michelle Smallman, the lovely Michelle Smallman. I have to introduce the euphoric Evan Cohen.
Let's go!
I know how to use the word, I can't spell it. And I am the resident Super Bowl champ. So, Pat Costello, if you would.
Number 5.
The Detroit Pistons, Detroit basketball. There's still time for them to get involved in the deal, as the Bucks and the Heat won't execute the trade for Giannis until July 6th. But landing Tyler Hero is a must for Detroit, as their lack of secondary scoring, shooting, and playmaking was ultimately their undoing against the Cavs in the second round of the postseason following a regular season that saw them with the best record in the East. Hero was a salary filler in the Giannis trade, but he's a 26-year-old all-star and should pair nicely alongside Kane Cunningham in the Pistons' backcourt. Detroit Pistons number 5 in my losers in the Giannis Antetokounmpo trade.
I like where you're going with this, and I think that it's something that we reacted to live on the air yesterday when we played the Sham sound about it being a two-team deal, which obviously he was right. The fact that this could be expanded to multiple teams by the time of execution, July 6th, could be determined based on who guys are signing with, what trades could be made. So, CeCe, could I respectfully challenge the Pistons as a loser now to be a winner later? Because you've floated out there. Could they now find themselves into this deal by July 6th?
They have to. What I'm telling you is they have to. Right now, they're a loser. They absolutely can become a winner. They can change this thing. There's still time, but right now they're a loser. And so they got to make sure that they get Tyler Hero out of this deal somehow, some way. We'll see what ends up happening. Now, you always bring up the fact that Tyler Hero is from Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And I got to imagine with a gutted Bucks roster, he would love nothing more than to have an opportunity to jack up shots because he's going to be on a team going to nowhere, but he has an opportunity to go into free agency and improve his stock in the summer of 2027. So it'll be interesting to see how this all shakes out, but Tyler Hero is a player. He's a piece that the Pistons have to get as some of the residual from this Heat Bucks trade.
Agreed.
Next.
Number 4.
Miles Turner. After reaching the 2025 finals with the Pacers, he left